In 1984, inspired by the BBS inventor Ward Christensen, I created my own bulletin board system. My BBS allowed people to connect through their computers to mine from anywhere in the world and leave messages for others to read and make plans to meet up in person. This collaboration is the rudimentary foundation of what we now call social media. Social media is a required vehicle that helps drive your business. Humanize. It's important to know the people behind the brand. New media is allowing companies to show that human aspect. Throughout my sales tenure, when I had a difficult time getting in front of clients, I paid attention to their needs. There was a time when the traditional methods just stopped working for me: telephone, email, snail mail, and I took a more non traditional approach, reaching out and finding people on their blogs, in their environment, getting to know them as people. By doing this, I learned more about my clients as human beings as well as what we shared in common. By the time we met face to face, it wasn't a cold call at all, but more like a couple of old friends reconnecting. By learning their needs personally, they would give me opportunities to sell professionally. Remember, there's human beings behind purchasing. Choose to interact with your client, not only at the transactional level, but go deeper. Learn their wants, their needs, and who they are. Find their blogs, their Twitters, their Facebooks, and take an interest in them. And they'll be interested in what you have to offer them too. People do business with people like them. Engage. Interacting with your customer in the new media economy is easier and faster than ever before. Previously, reaching out to customers was billboards, newspapers, magazines, radio, TV, and other traditional forms of marketing. Never before have we been able to speak the same language as our customers using the same communication tools they best prefer. Perfect example, building that fan network on Facebook, that friendly interaction on Twitter, and commenting on your client's blog even. That is a new way to reach out to people the way they like to be reached out to. This means when we reach out directly to them on their terms and on their mediums, they feel more comfortable doing business with us. Listen, imagine being heard not only imagine hearing not only the words spoken about your company products and services, but also how they feel and the ability to measure that sentiment. Companies now have the ability to listen with the right tools, so you'll not only know what they're talking about, but their sphere of influence and what makes them tick. Interested in rapid problem resolution? This is the ability to quickly jump in and address potential concerns before they escalate into a real issue. With real-time monitoring and conversations happening through the blogosphere, good and bad, enable the business owner to reach directly to their customers. This changes market research, but more importantly, you're getting the pure message, not an echoed fragment. Promote! The internet is like a giant megaphone, but unfortunately, that's not how we use it. The billboard approach is rapidly fading. It's just something of the past. We're learning the power of the whisper. You realize that more people are likely to buy your products or services if you're following them back on Twitter or if they're a fan of yours on Facebook? Hey, I used to prefer Caribou Coffee, but bye-bye Caribou, hello Starbucks. You follow me back on Twitter. Take a look at how Apple introduced the iPods. It's a great example of social media. By giving all the cool kids an iPod, they became their brand evangelists, promoting the product through demonstration. In your own business, think about your customer and how they can become your advocate. Remember that time that your customer raved about your products and services? Well, that's what I'm talking about. I'm taking it to a louder level. Sell! Most companies are not selling effectively in the new media economy. They try, but they need to understand that just like the telephone was a disruptive tool when it was first introduced, businesses out there now can't even think of having salespeople without a telephone or email or smartphones to reach out and stay in touch with their customers. this isn't even enough anymore. Customers are expecting you to have Twitter, Facebook, and an interactive company blog or forum that you stay on top of. You need to sell in this environment, and social media is where your customers are. I'm checking the time. So that was about 5 minutes. 5 minutes on the kind of intro there, not too bad. Then we're going to dive into history and the present. Here we go. The first online social networks developed through the phone system. My fascination with social media began in the 1980s. As part of a group of hackers known as Phreakers, we took over the phone network and we connected through, well, we borrowed corporate networks as the internet wasn't the same back then, and we connected with others. We conducted virtual seminars through company test lines and would hack voicemail systems to leave messages that others would retrieve. I think now they call that a podcast. Here's where I'm going to have a slide that compares things from the past to things now. It'll say things like, back then it was expensive for phone calls and we used Phreaking. Now it's expensive for phone calls and we use Skype. That type of thing. I will send that slide over to you, Mike. Anyway, back over to 80s, 90s, build through that stuff, kind of like the agenda. Let me get the deck over and talk to it. And then I'll say, the future's already here and has always existed. From the Sumerians' pictographic clay tablets to homing pigeons and foot messengers, all the way to the telephone and telegraph, humankind has embraced group learning and communications. In the present, today, you can measure, manage, and maintain relationships with clients using the same tools that were only previously available to giant corporations. Businesses have been rapidly embracing the delicate transition from disruptive through enabling technologies, leveraging social media more than ever. Companies not embracing these new social media tools are going to fall by the wayside. Somehow my 40-minute keynote is going to be wrapped up in 10 minutes, miraculously. The whole concept, Mike, was we got a skeleton and then I can pad it instead of all those crazy, awesome ideas. Oh, I've got to read the rest. Social media is already creating a dynamic environment for collaborative reporting, giving us a level of understanding and interpreting what's happening right around us differently than ever before. Real time. Real people. People we trust. We know the source. We see how many people are giving us this data. I don't see the printed page falling by the wayside, but more influenced collaboratively than ever before. TVs are shipping with Ethernet connections and Wi-Fi for YouTube and Hulu broadcasts, and the businesses and persons embracing and utilizing this the soonest will become the newspapers and TVs of the future. Picture a new social integration formed through biometric technologies and photo recognition that would help you translate your analog and digital world seamlessly. Imagine scanning a group of people with your smartphone and using photo recognition to learn your degree of separation, enabling you to build an instant rapport and start with a warm relationship. Open your mind to concepts such as enhanced geo-based social networks based around GPS and wireless triangulation. It's here. Further technologies are taking advantage of existing tools in new ways, such as RFID tags that are manufactured inexpensively and literally are smaller than a grain of sand. So it's no wonder that mobile phone manufacturers are putting tons of money into research of this human embeddable technology. Experimental technology exists right now, including some successful research at the end of December in Japan showing the ability for computers to directly communicate with your mind. Imagine tweeting or creating your Facebook updates without the need for a phone or computer. By analyzing your brain's blood flow, researchers are closer and closer to directly extracting images from your brain. Just imagine the potential. And here's the closing. Do I have time? Okay. Social media is here to stay. The biggest shift recently has been how this helps businesses. Companies depend on using social media now to humanize their brand, engage with their audience, listen to their customers, promote through evangelists, and sell products and services with exponentially more powerful and measurable results than ever before. I challenge you to be on the forefront of this movement in your industry. Thank you for your time. I think it's done. I don't know. Thanks for watching, Mike.